everyone, this is Guo Xuan here and I'm going to talk about my presentation. My topic is why is there a productive fishery off coast of Peru and Chile? In this video, I'm going to talk in 4 parts. Firstly, I'm going to introduce the location of Peru and Chile fishery, and secondly, I'm going to talk about some characteristics of the area, and thirdly, I'm going to talk about the main reason of causing the fishery. And lastly, I'm going to talk about some problems that happen in fishery and solving ways of the problem. Okay, let's start now. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the location of Peru-Chile fishery. As we can see in the picture, where the red sign is directing to is the Peru cold water current's location. It flows from south to north. The Peru-Chile channel is about 160 km off the western coast of South America. It spans a length roughly 5,900 km that stretches from Peru in the north to about halfway down Chile's coast in the south. It has a maximum depth of 8,065 meters and an average width of 64 km. Also, the channel is also an area of active research on deep water communities. Here is the Peru-Chile channel chart, which can see in the dark blue line along the coast. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the characteristic of the fishery. Due to the length and various climates that the Chilean coast encompasses, the Chilean coastal sea has a wide range of habitat in addition to its open ocean. Also, due to high amount of primary production on the surface via the Humboldt Current, more nutrients are able to make their way down to seafloor within the channel and they support an abundance of life, from bacterial mag to tiny invertebrates, with more life and deep sea vent hypothesized to occur there. Peruvian water normally abound with markable fish: bonito, mackerel, drum, sea bass, tuna, swordfish, herring, shake, skipjack, yellowfin, and shark. And more than 50 species are caught commercially. And what this picture is showing is the wide range of habitats. Thirdly, I'm going to talk about the main reasons of causing this fishery. The first reason is the HCS system, the Humboldt Current system. As shown in the picture, it is a direction of HCS along the coast of Chile. The HCS is the largest upwelling system in the world. The Peruvian coastal upwelling ecosystem is part of an upwelling area that extends between 4 degrees south and about 40 degrees south along the western coast of South America, with high productivity originating from equatorial upwelling south of the Galapagos Islands. Peruvian coastal upwelling is peculiar because winds sustain the upwelling process throughout the year, and the ENS Soul Circle induces the distinct internal ecosystem variability. The coastal upwelling system, which hardly comprises 0.02% of the total ocean surface, is of great significance because it determines the enormous productivity of Peruvian coastal waters, representing almost 20% of the world's landing of industrial fish. In the summer, upwelling favorable condition brings in cold, nutrient-rich water that flow in from southern Chile north to Peru. This increase in nutrients generates a large amount of primary productivity and supports a very productive ecosystem from central to northern Chile. From the lecture, we have learned what is upwelling water. Winds blowing across the ocean surface push water away. Water then rises up from beneath to the surface to replace the water that was pushed away. This process is known as the upwelling. Upwelling occurs in the open ocean and along coastline. The reverse process, called downwelling, also occurs when wind causes the surface water to build up along the coastline and the surface water eventually sink toward to the bottom. Water that rises to the surface as a result of upwelling is typically colder and is rich in nutrients. These nutrients fertilize surface water, meaning that this surface water often have high biological productivity. Therefore, good fishing grounds typically are found where upwelling is common. Upwelled water is colder than water normally found on surface, and it is richer in nutrients. The nutrient fertilizes phytoplankton in the mixed layer, which are eaten by zooplankton, which are eaten by small fish, which are eaten by the larger fish, and so on to infinity. As a result, the upwelling regions are productive water supporting the world's major fisheries. The important regions are offshore of Peru, California, Somalia, Morocco, and Namibia. And this graph shows how displaced surface waters are replaced by cold, nutrient-rich water that upswell from below. Lastly, I'm going to talk about what's the problem that happens in fishery and the solution to those problems. The Peruvian fishing industry, primarily based on export of fish meal used in poultry feed, is among the largest in the world. Peru's fishing sector led the world during the mid-1960s, although production since then has fluctuated radically. In the 1970s, overfishing nearly led to the disappearance of anchovy resource. The key to Peru's fishing industry in any given year is the presence or absence of El Niño. This warm ocean current displaces the normally cold water deep in the Pacific, thereby killing the microorganism upon which other marine life depends. During the EESC event, this upwelling of cold water is reduced as atmospheric conditions change, the southern trade wind slack or reverse diversion, and warmer water flow back eastward along the equator southward along the coast. This results in a decrease in primary productivity that impacts the entire food web, shifting species structure and population and hurting the commercial fishing industry. What's more, plastic and fishing gear has shown up in some instances along the coast as it does elsewhere. And this picture shows the food web of the fishery. To suppress invasion of their rich fishing ground by foreign powers, Peru made formal agreement with Chile and Ecuador to extend the rights to their coastal water out to 200 nautical miles. Also, an effective solution at this point in time seemed to be stop the southward spread of aquaculture until more up-to-date regulation can be put in place or more research can be done to determine how altered environments may affect the bigger picture. What's more, another effective solution could be implement the same type of strategies that were imposed upon the catch industry. Impose a quota on how much each farm can harvest. Enforce existing regulations that require a certain distance between farms and so far to spread out the potential harmful effects, or even possibly impose a limit on how many aquaculture farms can be operational. Overall, better regulation, enforcement, raising awareness, and even following the same type of model that was applied to catch the industry would be beneficial to Chile's aquaculture industry, and may once again return them to being a top producer of farmed salmon species in the future. Okay, and this is all my presentation. I hope you guys can know more about the Peru and Chile fishery. And if you have any question, you can come to ask me and we can discuss it together. And thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.